Hey kids, you're listening to Nothing in Moderation with Travis and Mike. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on this regularly scheduled dumpster fire.
You can catch us on all the social medias under @NothingInModPod. So let's go ahead and get this hillbilly hog fight underway.
God damn it. I'm fucking super gassy today, apparently.
The top or the bottom?
Yes.
Both.
Yes, sir. That is correct. Both is correct. So what's going
You're working
on?
Nothing, man. Just what's the old white man saying? Another day, another dollar. Living the dream.
Another day, another disaster.
No, that's the news cycle.
Yeah, you're right.
I think I sent you an article about some crazy shit. I usually do.
I was gonna say you haven't sent me many articles the last couple of days. Actually, I'm a little disappointed.
I'll be honest with you. As an insecure boyfriend, I was a little concerned you were mad because I'd send you a picture of Penelope and everything, and I wouldn't get shit back.
Well, I'm officially now on vacation. But these last couple of days, good God, man, trying to get ready for vacation has been fucking terrible. So,
Are you doing anything big on vacation or just having time off?
we were going to go to family's house in Georgia, but with the current state of the coronavirus, we think it wise to not travel too much. So we're just going to hang out around the house and handle some things here and relax.
But the governor of our state has said there will be no increases in restrictions.
He also said, "Fuck them kids." So, I mean, there's that.
Well, he's no trick daddy.
He is not. He's not. Trick loves the kids for sure. That dumb motherfucker does not. So there's that.
Yeah. So were you working out at the actual office location way up in BFE?
No. I was at the local one. But just
Got it.
trying to cram 5 days worth of work into because like the people that cover for me when I'm off, like I don't want to fuck up their whole day. Like they got shit to do too. So like I try to do as much of it as I can so they don't have to. Or what they do have to do is just taking what I've put together and sending it off. So, but it's trying to, and we're using some new software and I'm kind of beta testing and piloting the program for our location. So I had to in the middle of all that also teach these guys how to use the new shit. So
You just have to crash it and make it look fucking terrible and be like, no matter what I do, it fucking burns.
yeah,
And then they don't change over.
yeah, no, that's not going to happen. They already paid for it. It's a you're changing over. The rest of the company already did.
We assume that you're the smartest guy in the building, so you learn it first and then fucking get furious when we refuse to understand.
If they assume I'm the smartest guy in the building, we're all fucked. Mostly because there's a lot of people in that building that are way smarter than I am.
Yeah.
So, but hey, it is what it is. So I told the wife earlier, since it's coming up to Christmas, and I got one of her gifts in the mail today.
Oh boy.
And she was like, "Oh, give me a gift. Give me the gift. What is it? Tell me what it is." Blah 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 blah. She's like,
Was
"What
it
is
a Buttholes of Africa calendar?
It was not. I was like, and I love my wife so much, and we have our relationship. We can say things that other couples might not be able to, and not have somebody freak out. But I just literally, in the heat of the moment, looked her dead in the face and said. Or she said, "Where is it?" And I said, "If it was up your asshole sideways kicking footballs, you'd know." And didn't even think of, and that's some shit I'd say to you, or I say it to people at work all the time. But after I said it, I was like, "Did I just say that to my wife? That's weird." All right, well, I love you. I'm out of here.
Man, I thought it was going to be something terrible.
I mean, that's.
No, I don't think you're going to be mean. I didn't think you were going to be a mean jackass or hateful towards your wife, and I figured when you said we can say anything together, I was wrong, but
no,
I expected something more significant than if it was up your ass sideways doing cartwheels.
Yeah, I might have to adapt and use that one. That might be my next one. So, yeah, between work, and then I also to roll back to my fucking shit-tastic week. My mom is selling her house and my grandfather's house and combining their households and buying a house up near me.
Right.
And I single-handedly moved my mom out of her house that she's lived in for the last 20 years by myself this past weekend.
Should use both hands.
Well, it is what it is. So I actually had to go get an adjustment from the chiropractor today because I tweaked my back at some point through all of that and was all fuckered up from it.
I know that the address you sent me to take a look at, I mentioned to you that was around the corner, like a block or two from a house that I responded to when I was a deputy, where a known mid-level coke dealer was murdered in the house by another drug dealer in the area. The guy who was dead while alive had dragged the guy who ended up probably killing him out to the middle of nowhere in another county, beat him half to death, and left him for dead like in a swamp.
God damn.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
I guess. Fuck. That's wild.
Yeah. It was, I think I told you about all that. The family members would show up on, like, if you traffic stopped one of the extended family members, the whole rest of the family would show up fucking screaming at you with a shirt that had the dead guy's face on it. Not a picture from when he was dead, but from when he was alive. And be like, why are you out here fucking with us, but you're not finding his killer? And it's like, oh man.
Jesus Christ.
It was a wild time. But anyway, the house that you sent me the address to is not the house where that happened.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good to know. So
yeah.
I do think it's crazy that how close to the school that place is and that there's a drug dealer that close to it.
Yeah, I mean,
like
it was
that's
10
not
years
an additional charge.
If you're within 1,000 feet, it is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So
it was the wildest thing, man. You hear about that bullshit and you think it's a fake story, but being there firsthand and seeing family members say, yeah, the $10,000 in cash in his pockets that's in stacks is he just holds all of our rent money and all of our bill money until it's time to pay the bills. Yeah. I was like, I don't think that's correct.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I can't say you're lying.
Yeah,
but I have a pretty good inclination that you're lying.
Yeah. I've got drug dealer stories for days from working at the bail bonds office, but I don't know if the statute of limitations are up for some of them, so I don't want to throw any of them under the bus. My
favorite one, on a positive note, was a guy. I stopped a vehicle in the middle of a known high crime area for like no taillights or no tag light or something, just a basic bullshit stop.
Some typical bullshit cop excuse to pull somebody over.
To make contact with the people in the vehicle and see where it goes from there. And
being proactive.
Yeah, proactive, because as a cop, you can never do anything right. If you're not doing anything, you're being fucking lazy, wasting taxpayers' money, and if you're not pulling people over, you're harassing innocent people. So it's like, well, fuck, what do I do?
You just suck at hiding. That's your problem.
Go ahead and park behind the Winn-Dixie.
You got to do like they did in Super Troopers and set up a fucking dummy in like a blow up doll in the car and then fish down by the creek.
Oh man, if it was allowed. But so I pull over this car.
I don't think it was allowed in Super Troopers either.
Yeah, they didn't care. It's fucking Vermont or New Hampshire or some shit.
There ain't nothing else going on.
But pull over this car. Female driver, male passenger. Bunch of shit in the back seat.
His license is automatically suspended when I see that.
Well, I wasn't even worried about it because so long as he doesn't have it on him, it wasn't a crime. But, the case law at the time said you could detain whoever's in the vehicle until they're at least identified. And they're obligated to identify themselves, whatever. But so she provides me her license. Backup shows up because, again, high crime area. Canine's en route, known drug area, just in case. And the first backup unit makes contact with the male passenger and asks for an ID, and the guy gets very combative. Maintain your cool, tell him to step out of the car. Guy steps out of the car, starts getting bowed up, starts to, hooting and hollering, absolutely refuses to identify himself. Excuse me. So I say, put him in handcuffs. If he's refusing to identify himself and he's legally obligated to, he can take the ride or he can identify himself. So the female's completely compliant. They step out of the car. They close the doors. I pull her to the side. We're in a parking lot of a church. Canine shows up, does a walk around the car, hits on the car. Now there's PC to search the car. We search the car, can't find anything. But typically the dogs aren't wrong. Well, at that point, you were, and I don't know if you still are, you were allowed to proceed to at least pat down or search the people that are detained. And the guy was going to jail anyway, so he was subject to search. He ends up having weed on him, which, who the fuck cares? But now it's individually packaged into a bunch of little bags, and then there's a big bag that he's clearly pinching off of to put them in there, and we're in the parking lot of a church and across the street from a playground. Mm-hmm. So now it's possession with intent to distribute within 1,000 feet of those items. So now it's like a second-degree felony. It's a pretty big fucking deal on paper. Well, once the guy realizes he's going to jail, like when the dog hit on the car and we went to search it, he starts yelling in the back. So he's like, I'm sorry. I'll tell you who I am, this and that. And so now he's panicking. Well, once he realized he was going to jail, he said, man, I'm sorry. He's like, I don't want to be one of these deadbeat dads out here not taking care of my kids. I'm just out here selling drugs to make sure I can make money and take care of my kids. And I was like, fuck, I wish you hadn't said that.
Yeah, well, I mean.
Because unprovoked said, essentially confessed to committing a crime. So now it's like fucking airtight. And it's like, shouldn't have said anything. Yeah. But I mean, it was very different police interaction to have communication back and forth and to be honest. And it eventually got to the state attorney's office and they didn't do anything with it anyway.
No, well, that's good.
But yeah, I mean, again, I don't personally give a shit about people doing whatever drug at home, like the whole Oregon conversation. Mm-hmm. If you're not committing crimes or harming anybody to support whatever substance you want to use, I don't really give a fuck. But in that particular situation, it was like, it was nice that you were honest, and it's nice that you're out here trying to make sure you have food on the table for your kids, but you shouldn't have told me that was why, or that you were doing it.
Yeah, maybe he's just selling weed, like it, I don't know. See, that's why I couldn't be a cop, because there are just certain things I wouldn't do.
Well, so possession under 20, at least at the time in the state of Florida, was a misdemeanor, so you didn't have to arrest somebody for it. You just could not allow them to continue committing a crime in your presence. So that's where you used to hear stories about guys that are like, oh, just dump the weed out and we won't worry about it, or just break the pipe on the ground. And I was like, well, I get it. You're stopping the crime from continuing to be committed, but you're not in any way, shape, or form covering your ass. What happens if the person that you did that to turns around and calls the department and says, hey, Deputy Travis took my weed from me and I watched him go smoke it himself. And how are you going to prove you didn't?
Valid
You're
point.
not.
Yeah.
So it's like, cool. Do a found property report. Submit that shit for destruction. Don't have to fucking take him to jail.
Yeah.
Like DUIs. I think I told you that story. One guy, he's like all ate up. He's like, I did 100 DUI arrests in like 4 years and blah, blah, blah. And how many have you done? I'm like, none. They don't drive home, but none.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway,
Fucking
so welcome
kids.
to the podcast.
I'm gonna have to cut that whole part out. No, I'm not. No, fuck all that. Welcome to the podcast. This is Nothing in Moderation. It's your weekly dive into nothing, where we just shoot the shit. We don't really have we play one game consistently. Other than that, we just kind of talk about whatever the fuck we want to.
Yeah, we did the vegan update for a while.
We did the vegan update for a while. We can do vegan update again with my Thanksgiving. But I am Mike. That's Travis over there.
That's me.
You can check us out on all the socials at Nothing in Mod Pod. You can send us an email, nothinginmoderationpod@gmail.com, and you can also send us a DM or an email and request free stickers or magnets or keychains. Got them. Wow. They're all free. Wow.
That's what it was. I couldn't get my voice to do it.
Yeah,
all raspy.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
So I was talking to my friend who had the Rona, who is now essentially recovered as best we can tell, and he was telling me he liked the WoW thing that we used to do, and we got to talking about the his favorite bit from Family Guy is, you remember when Peter's excited skipping home, like Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, and he falls and skins his knee, and he's like, yeah. We got into a whole conversation about that bit and the comedic theory behind it, as far as if you do something for a long time, it stops being funny, but if you keep going, it's funny again. And I actually did that in real life one time when I broke my leg. Just started rocking back and forth doing the Peter Griffin zone.
Oh yeah, I do it every now and then if I hurt myself. My favorite Family Guy skit for a while, I don't like it as much anymore, was the Conway Twitty interludes.
The one episode where they did it like 3 times.
Yeah, and then they play the whole fucking song.
Well, and that's the same comedic theory.
Yeah, no,
it's funny to do, and then it's not funny. It's funny again.
Yeah,
and he is Conway Twitty.
My favorite, not recurring skit, but my favorite opening, I guess, issue. I don't remember if it was in the opening of the show, but it was when Peter bought the horse that was Left-Handed Dolphin, I believe.
It ran like it swung a leg around like a wheel.
But it runs in a race, and all you hear is the announcer. Like, they don't show you the race, but you hear the announcer talking about, "Oh God, he's crashing through the into the stands. All the kids are deaf in that area, but we can assure you they are signing like crazy." I fucking lose my shit every time I see that one. It just makes me laugh.
The moment that caught me the most off guard ever on Family Guy was the one where Peter's actually nice to Meg early on, and he feels bad for her, and he shows her the pony he bought her for her birthday when she was young, and it's just a skeleton standing in the closet, and he goes, "Oh, ponies need food."
Jesus Christ. I haven't seen that one. That's funny.
That shit was great because it was just a simple joke.
Yeah, we watch a lot of cartoons around here, but we've also started, and it's grown on me. I didn't like it as much. Jen liked it a lot. We watch a lot of Impractical Jokers now.
That's the one with the 4 guys who challenge each other.
Yeah, and sometimes it's sometimes they're just they recycle the skits a lot. But one of the things they've done a couple of times is they put all 4 of them in like a waiting room for like a focus group or something. I guess that's a shtick they run with a lot. You're doing a focus group, and they put all 4 of them in the waiting room, and they bring props and shit with them and try to make the others laugh. And then as you laugh, you're out, and it goes until there's only one left. But like dude had one. He had somebody bring a baby in and hand it to one of the other guys that was sitting by the door, and laughed at his own skit, and fucking nobody else did, and he knocked himself out laughing at his own skit
and left the baby.
And yeah. I mean, so it is what it is.
I think that show's engaging to a lot of people because they can say, "I know what 3 friends I would play this game with." You know what I mean?
I don't think I have 3 friends I could play it with.
You don't watch that and think that that's something you and I would do?
You and I, absolutely. I don't think I've got 2 other friends that I could do it with.
We could bring Bobby and Mike and see how it goes.
Yeah, Mike.
Bobby
mostly
just starts yelling at everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. I could see Mike playing it. So I don't know. Some of the shit they make them do is like super uncomfortable. Like there was one where like the punishment when the whichever guy loses, they have like a punishment they have to do.
Right.
And one of them was super funny. Like they dressed the guy up like Dracula and took him to a theater and told him that he was in like a Dracula play.
But he was the only one who thought that?
Yeah, he was the only one that thought that. He was in like a church choir singing hymns and shit. And like, so the curtain's down and he's standing in the middle of like the 3 rows of bleachers by himself. And then all of a sudden this whole church choir runs in and surrounds him. And like the choir was in on it. They knew what was going on, but nobody in the audience did. And they just start singing hymns, but the curtains open up and there's fucking all these black ladies in like robes and singing church hymns and shit. And then there's Dracula just standing in the middle of them. But there was another one where they did a fucking like a thing in an art studio, but it was like a mother-child like art class. And they made this fucking guy walk around and put red X's across every painting. Aww. So we're talking about like 4 and 5-year-old kids, and he's got to walk up to them and fucking draw a red X across their whole painting after they've spent like an hour working on it.
That's unfortunate.
It is super uncomfortable. Like, luckily the people all seemed to be okay, and like once they told them what was going on, like they were okay with it. But God, it was super uncomfortable to watch. So
yeah, I mean, some of them are like. There's one guy, I don't know who it is on the show because I've watched it a couple times, but his weakness is like he can't. It's almost like anything dealing with women. He doesn't ever want to even have the slightest misconception of being rude or inappropriate or anything. Yeah. So he can't even like ask a girl if she farted or something if that's the joke. So they pick on that weakness with him fairly often.
Yeah, there's one of the guys that's like super germaphobe, and one of his punishments like was involving germs and touching shit that was not clean. Or like they locked him. He's got a weird phobia of some animals, I think, and they locked him in like a room when he had to collect the chickens and put them back in their crates. So
it's like a more PG rated version of Jackass.
Absolutely, yeah. They do some. I mean, they say some. Depending upon the game, they say some wild shit.
Yeah, but it's still on mainstream TV channels.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like Court TV or
True
some
TV.
Shit.
It's the only fucking thing on True TV besides Tacoma FD. I think those are the only two shows on that whole
seasons
fucking thing. Huh?
Now that they're 15 seasons in.
Yeah, pretty much. It's literally like every time you turn on True TV, you can almost guarantee Impractical Jokers is on.
Well, that's like TBS. You can watch Family Guy, American
Big
Dad,
Bang
or
Theory.
Friends, and Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
We've got 4-hour blocks of everything.
Yeah. USA Network used to be like that too before they started doing a lot of their own original shit. So
hey, I used to watch Murder, She Wrote, and Quantum Leap as a kid.
Yep, I watched.
Staying at Grandma's.
Yep, I would do. I wouldn't do Murder She Wrote. My grandma. I would watch it with like my grandma. I wouldn't watch that one on my own, but I would watch Quantum Leap. And then in the summers, in the mornings into the afternoons, they had Parker Lewis Can't Lose or whatever it is.
Yes.
Yeah, I would watch the shit out of that. And then I would switch over to Nickelodeon for fucking what's the Camp Onawana deal?
Salute Your Shorts.
Salute Your Shorts, yeah. So, oh man, we're old.
Did you ever watch Swamp Thing on USA?
I did not.
Oh, that was so
Doesn't
cool.
even sound familiar. Like I don't know.
Oh, that's cool. Toxic Avengers on some of the streaming services, and I want to watch it, and I can't convince Ashley to sit through how bad they are.
Yeah. You ain't convinced me to sit through shit. So what other? Those are the only things I really watched in the summer. I would always get mad at USA because they would always have like the U.S. Open when it was on. Like they would cancel all their fucking programming and just play tennis. And I'm like, how the fuck do you guys? How do you justify fucking tennis for a week?
Same way, like bowling.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, like I can see an hour of bowling here and there. Literally from like fucking the start of the day to the end of the day, it was just fucking wall to wall tennis.
And they'd play all of the tennis matches.
Well, because the U.S. Open, you know, there's probably 20 or 30 matches a day. You know, with
America
the different
does
with
tennis
with all the different categories and shit. So I don't know much about tennis, so it's not my sport.
There's lots of matches and lots of sets and lots of rackets.
Yeah, I don't understand this. I don't understand the scoring. I don't understand the need to scream loudly.
It's like karate.
When you hit the ball. I don't know. I got nothing. This shit's wild.
But I digress.
You
want to do a vegan update?
Yeah, we can do a vegan update. We had I think we talked about it last week. We had our vegan Thanksgiving. So we got it was like a chicken pot pie, but it was made with a bunch of different mushrooms that were quote unquote chicken, or that they were to replace the chicken. Stuffing, like cornbread stuffing, was pretty good, and then that's probably gonna be real loud. I'll probably have to cut that part out. We had green bean casserole with haricot vert. It's pretty good. Some pecan pie, whichever. Pecan pie.
Depends on where you're from, I suppose.
Nope. It's only pecan pie. Pecans are what truckers use. So hopefully my mom listens at some point and realizes that I remember that from when I was a kid. So.
That's funny. Pecans, what you use on the side of the road.
Yeah. It was, it was pretty good. I didn't. And it had roasted pumpkin mac and cheese, which was fucking delicious. And it was.
Was it really?
It was, and it's wild because it wasn't. When I think pumpkin, I think sweet. But they found a way to take some of the sweet out of it and make it a little more savory than normal. So it wasn't like pumpkin pie with macaroni and cheese, mixed in it. Like it had like a bit of a savoriness to it, but it still had a little bit of that sweet.
And pumpkin pie is only sweet because they add a bunch of sweetener to it. Pumpkin as a whole really isn't sweet. I don't
shut
think.
Your whore mouth.
We went to Ashley's grandma's place out in the middle of BFE. So we put a stopwatch on a 92-year-old woman's life. And so everyone had to bring a plate or a bowl or a dish or whatever the fuck the term is called, where you bring an item, a side item for the Thanksgivings. And Ashley was given a list of what was coming and then given a list of things that still needed to show up. And she picked mashed potatoes because they're easy. Well, so I'm in the kitchen, I'm mashing the mashed potatoes for her, and I say, hey.
They're easy because she made you do it?
Ooh, jeez. Yeah, easy because she cut them up and boiled them. I squished the shit out of them. But I'm like, hey, I didn't hear you mention the most important part about any holiday, and that is sweet potato casserole. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, is there going to be sweet potato casserole, or am I canceling my fucking trip? And she goes, well, I don't know. And I was like, look at the fucking list, because if there's not sweet potato casserole, and you chose to make fucking mashed potatoes instead of sweet potato casserole, we're going to fight right here in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's definitely something worth fighting over.
Well, thankfully for her, there was sweet potato casserole on the list.
That's good.
And it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it fucking better have been.
The cousin that made the sweet potato casserole did like this interesting meringue with marshmallow fluff type topping for it, which I'd never had before. I'm used to like the
Have you never had it from Boston Market?
No, fuck Boston Market.
Well, I only say that because that's the way they do theirs. They literally do they put marshmallows across the entire top of it and then bake it in, a super high like broil type oven to crisp it up.
No, I've had that.
Yeah.
The cousin made meringue and, the stiff peaks with egg whites or whatever it is, and added marshmallow fluff to it to where the whole meringue had marshmallow fluff through it, not just marshmallows on top of the fucking sweet potato casserole. I've also had it with like the candied pecans and pecans or whatever the fuck it is. Uh-oh, I can hear him typing. Enhance. In other food news, Singapore has approved lab-grown meat, not from animals.
Perfect. Let's get this shit show on the road.
All right, what'd you find?
Hang on.
I'm anxiously waiting to find what you find.
Never mind. I was gonna be wrong, so I'm glad I looked that up before I said anything.
Yeah, good. Fuck you.
So, I mean,
that's one of those things that you can say.
I wasn't gonna be wrong. I've only been wrong like once. I've been mistaken, more times than I can count. But
I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
No, I was wrong. It was like once, maybe twice. I think it was only once, but it may have been twice. So
that sounds like a sentence you picked up from Billy.
I don't know if it was from Billy, but it could have been. It is some shit Billy would have said. So there is that. Speaking of that, call me Billy. I miss you.
He's never going to hear this.
Yeah, you're probably right. He turned that shit off when I said I was going to cut something out at the beginning.
Did you? Have you been seeing an uptick in solicitor calls?
I get 4 calls a day from a real person trying to sell me my car warranty, and I tell all 4 of them to fucking remove me, and they never do.
Well, that takes like 30 days, but
yeah, no, I get those, and then I swear to God, when I find out which one of you motherfuckers signed me up for senior care, fucking
life alert
bracelet, I get at least one of those a day, and then I get one a day of somebody trying to put solar on my house.
You should put them in touch with each other.
I lie to them and tell them I already have solar, and you would think they would use the powers of deduction and the Google Maps and look at my house and see that I don't already have solar. But they believe me and say, we'll remove you, and then don't remove me.
Nice. I think I've told the story about I was getting a phone call from a company trying to pitch dental insurance to me, and I told them I didn't have teeth.
Nice.
So they're like, oh, we have dental insurance, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't have teeth. I don't need dental insurance. And they're like, oh, but you can have coverage at all these different places. And I'm like, yeah, but what good will that do me with no teeth? And the guy's like, we can get you dentures. And that's like, smart. Fuck off. But most recently,
sure, I've been pre-existing condition.
Right. I've been trying to screen record and audio record the phone calls when they come in so that I have the clips of me fucking with people. And I'm not quick enough to make it happen for whatever reason. Like, they fucking hang up. But when I start getting phone calls, I start trying to sell them an extended car warranty.
Nice. I used to fuck with them a lot. Like when I worked at the bail bonds office, we would get a bunch of solicitor phone calls. and I would fuck with them hardcore. But as with a lot of other things, the older I get, like I don't care. Like I don't want to put all that energy into it. It's you know, I don't know.
No, I hear you. The most recent one I do is like if we're outside throwing the ball around with the dogs, if the phone call comes in, I put it on speakerphone and I put the phone right in front of the dog's mouth while it's panning, so they just have to hear.
That's perfect.
Yeah, minimal effort on my part, and they're uncomfortable, and dog breathes hot breath on my phone.
Yeah, that's probably gross. That's the gross part. I don't like
Shit
that.
happens. Shit happens.
Sorry, I was burping.
So I've got a couple of things that it's up to you what we touch on. I had a hypothetical question from the wife that I know will turn into a conversation. I have the Christmas item, the 2 Christmas items that I wanted to bring up a week or 2 ago that we didn't get to. So
go with hypothetical. Fuck Christmas.
The Christmas ones are fucking funny. So the hypothetical, out of the middle of nowhere, the wife looks at me and she goes, "Hey, if I was able to wish to have a dick for one day, would you touch it?" So she asked me that. So she has a dick, I still have a dick, and she wants me to touch it.
But is she still her?
I mean, are we getting into a gender identity conversation?
No.
Okay. I mean, like, is she still the same person? Except
Like, is
she
it
has
literally?
a wiener?
Is it literally? Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I mean. Like, is it just her with a penor?
She is a fully developed male below the waist.
I'd touch it. Whatever.
Would you?
Yeah.
Why would you touch my wife's dick?
Well, I mean, not your wife. God damn it. Fucking hate you so much. I knew it literally right after I said it. I was like, "Fuck!" It's like I stuck my head right through the door, knowing somebody was going to slap me in the face.
Yep, you that little whack-a-mole.
Yep. No, I would touch it.
So you would, if your wife, for whatever reason, had one wish in her, and it was granted, and her wish was to have a penor for a day, and she said, "Will you jerk me off?" You'd do it.
Oh, that's different, but also still yes.
I mean, like if the old lady needed help, standing and peeing for the first time, and she's peeing all over everything like I do normally, I would help her out and hold it.
I kind of wish that females could have a penis for a day, and see how hard it actually is to control that thing.
It's even worse when you have a huge extra hole in the bottom of it. You have to try and plug.
I forgot. Old
goes every
Dick
which
Pearson
way.
Travis over here.
Yeah, fucking big enough to hang a fucking master lock through, and I'm trying to jam my pinky in it while I'm peeing.
That's fucking great.
That's less than ideal. I just sit down to pee. Fuck it.
I don't understand the problem with sitting down to pee. Like not people. Like typically, there are very specific people that try to make fun of men for sitting down to pee. But like literally, it's fucking.
Yeah, they're called other men.
It's way more comfortable.
It's also way easier when you're drunk. It's also way cleaner.
Absolutely. When I'm drunk, I definitely sit down to pee.
Especially if you're a gassy individual and you might have a surprise fart, the last thing you want to do is be at the urinal drunk and fucking shart yourself.
Shit. Yeah.
Then you got to turn around at the urinal and shit in it.
Well, because when you're drunk, you're very trusting, and you may trust that fart more than you would if you were sober. Been there before.
Yep. Oh. Have you ever shit standing up, like full blown shit?
Like shit myself, or try to shit like yes?
No.
Yeah, the answer is yes. But
not like you farted and some made it past the gates.
Like I've been walking to the bathroom and shit myself. So yeah,
like full blown had a turd.
Oh yeah,
out.
yeah. Oh yeah, I filled my underwear up. So
there's a George Carlin skit where he says there's some things you just never see, like a man taking a shit at full sprint.
Bullshit.
And
well, by the time I've shit, I would have stopped running. I can't run while I'm trying
doing
to keep
anything
it back.
There is no running in my life.
Yeah, there's no running anyway. But if I'm trying to hold back a poo, there's no running. You can't run and fight it back.
Clinched waddle.
Yeah, it's a clinched waddle at best, and then you once you've let it go, there's no sense in running. You already shit yourself. Just walk gracefully. As gracefully as you can.
I know you don't watch It's Always Sunny, but Danny DeVito's character can shit himself on command, but like it's a full hard turd.
That's a pretty sweet superpower.
Well, dude, he'll be wearing pants and he'll just like do it and nobody will notice, and he'll kind of shake his leg and the turd rolls across the floor.
That's pretty funny. It's like, what's your superpower? Like I can shit myself on command.
I shit standing up once in the shower, in a group shower at a state park.
Oh, Jesus. I'm not feeding into that one again.
I mean, it's over. And the guys that were there, I severely doubt they listen to the podcast.
Yeah, fuck them.
Now, if the staff happens to listen to the podcast, they're going to know who the shit bandit was.
Yeah. I'm going to assume the staff isn't going to stumble across our podcast. Nobody else does.
They're probably way better people than that.
Yeah, probably.
But
they're not in South Africa, so they won't see us in the top of the charts over there.
Did we bring that up?
Yeah, we brought it up last week.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So anyway, you're saying you would both touch your old lady's wiener if she had it for a day on a wish, and you would jerk it off?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Would that make you gay?
I don't know. I don't care. If it does, it does. Whatever.
That's valid. That's a very valid standpoint.
I don't give a fuck.
So does that mean that you would jerk off another person's wiener, or just specifically because it's your wife?
For free, or?
Well, I mean, everything has its price.
Absolutely, everything has its price, and my price is probably lower than most would imagine. But just my wife, if she had a penis for a day, but but for money or other provisions, compensation. Yeah, compensation is a good word. For other forms of compensation, I might, well, that's a whole nother conversation though.
Career advancement, shiny gifts.
Yeah, when I don't like shiny things, but
Well, I mean, I use the term shiny to just be a placeholder. Buildings, race cars.
Yeah.
Piles of money.
RC cars.
Jewels.
Then I can proceed to wad up in the fucking bushes.
Yeah, I heard about that. So now, would you fillet the wife?
That's a little more difficult. Probably not.
Why is that more difficult?
I don't know. It just doesn't.
Gag reflex?
Yeah, I definitely have one of those. So definitely. I don't know. I don't know. That doesn't.
Does that cross the threshold for you to where you feel it's more than just a minor inconvenience to make your spouse happy?
Yeah, probably.
Does that now, because this is the conversation most men end up into at some point or another, and I think we did on one of the episodes that never got released, as far as what your dollars and cents as far as to to jerk someone off or to have consensual anal recipient sex or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Does that to you, because you said you don't care if jerking your wife's dick off makes you gay or not? Do you care? Do you feel that the filleting your wife's hypothetical wish-based penis would make you uncomfortable because of that topic, or just because you don't want a dick in your mouth?
No, I just don't want a dick in my mouth. I don't. I like the gay or straight thing. Like I couldn't give a fuck less. Like you are. It's not.
And to be clear, I'm not shunning anyone for their
I'm not. But that's why I'm trying to relate that. Like I literally I don't care.
You don't care if anybody thinks you're gay or if you are gay or if you're not gay or anything of the sort.
I don't care about any of that. Like it doesn't define you as a person. Yeah, exactly. Literally or figuratively, whichever you prefer. But I think there's just there's something that makes me uncomfortable about a dick in my mouth. I don't know. I've never had it happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I get there and I find out that it's not that bad. But until that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know.
So on that topic, because you don't want somebody else's dick in your mouth, even if it's your wife whom you love more than anything, and it's her hypothetical genie-based wish dick. If you could fillet yourself, would you?
Probably not. It's
you don't think it would just be masturbation, even if you're like, man, that feels way better than my hand.
No. I'm not. I'm not with it. There's just even if it's my own dick, there's something weird about it being in my mouth. I don't know. So.
I mean, my wife tells me it's a terrible thing to do, so I trust her, and I assume that I wouldn't want to do it either.
Yeah,
just turn it back on her.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, there's just something weird to me about it. I don't know.
It ended up spawning a whole conversation between the wife's super good friend who owns a custom clothing company and her husband about what they would or wouldn't do for each other had you surprisingly had a genie-based genitalia change. So
I mean, that's good. That's good, solid Thanksgiving dinner table conversation, if I'm being honest.
we're gonna have to ask the grandma about it.
Yeah. Okay.
You think I won't?
No, I know. I know you will. Well, you can't ask yours.
Oh, there's going to be some sound bites from this episode.
Yeah, there is.
No, it doesn't matter to me. I'm hardly related.
Hopefully, it doesn't matter to your sister. Just kidding.
No, she's going to laugh at this shit, I think.
I hope so.
I'm willing to bet that she'll ask her husband
absolutely
the same hypothetical question.
Yeah,
and I encourage all of our listeners.
You know what? I kind of want to place a bet now. I think that her husband would fellate her.
I don't know.
I don't think he'd have a problem with it.
I think he loves her enough, but I think there's a certain stigma that goes against his.
I mean, nobody has to know.
Yeah. Now, would it? So even though nobody would have to know, you wouldn't do it for your wife?
Yeah, still, like I said, it's just it's the like it's weird to me.
You wouldn't even try it,
no,
just a little,
no,
just
no,
the tip.
No,
man,
no.
Would you let her put it in your butt?
That is less. I don't want to say repulsive. That is less. Like
scary.
That freaks me out less than filleting. I don't know. Like
okay, so
I still probably no, but more closer to yes than the other thing.
Still a no.
So yeah,
but
like
not
we're
as
still
much
riding the
no.
bus to No Town, but that bus is a little further back.
We passed Noperville.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I think Clayton would. I can cut his name out if you need me to. I don't know.
No, I don't think it matters. There's only one Clayton on Earth.
That's true. There is only one Clayton.
And
one
by
Clayton
using
to
his
rule
name,
them
my
all.
sister won't know that you met her husband. But no, I think it'll be interesting if anybody actually wants to interact with us on that topic, if they've made it this far. Like, I know Josh listens this far and several other people. It'll be interesting to see if they have that conversation with their significant other, or if they'll have the hypothetical if they don't have a significant other, as far as would they do that for somebody.
Yeah.
Because then I'm just going to start in on them about, well, what about me?
Well, that's the problem. That's why you can't go down that road with you. You try to make everything about you.
Well, and I told Ashley that when when you and I talk about it on the podcast, I'm slowly going to inch towards that. I'm going to be like, well, what about this? It's only a little bit different than that. What about this? It's only a little bit different than that.
Yeah, it's by the time you're 90 degrees away from it.
So do you think if you had a vagina with your genie genital wish that your wife would touch your vagina for you?
I would hope so, but I don't know.
Would you be offended if she said no?
Not at all.
Okay. I would ask if she would fellate you, but that's not the correct term. Yeah, and I think that's a question she should answer, not you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would not know where to begin, so I don't know.
And I'm not going to ask her because that's not my conversation to have with your wife.
You're right. So.
But she'll listen to this eventually and she'll answer it to you, and you may or may not repeat it.
I hope so.
But the important thing to remember is if you have a genital change, you can't put it in her butt. That's
true.
I mean, it's a fucking funny image in my head of someone trying to shove their vagina in someone else's butthole. I just don't think it works that way.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The last 10 minutes of this podcast is trash or treasure. It's trash.
Oh. Okay,
we are human receptacles.
I need to touch on at least one of the Christmas stories.
You don't need to touch on anything.
Oh, maybe on my wife's penis. But, so just real quick, for anyone who remembers the fire starter masturbation method story, this is about that same poor child. He wants Yu-Gi-Oh cards for Christmas. Like, that's just his. I mean, he's like 12 years. Well, he's like 12 or whatever it is, and that's, he's uncomfortable, and like we all were, and awkward and shit at that age, and that's kind of like his bonding item with friends. Yeah. Like it lets him get together. Mm-hmm. And which I never liked that shit when I was a kid, but whatever. And so his mom which is the family friend that was having the if I had a penis conversation with her husband, said that they got a phone call from a family member and said, hey, we want to get the fire starter a gift for Christmas. You know, what is he into? And our friend said, oh, just get him Yu-Gi-Oh cards. He's into them. They're like $8 for a pack, whatever it is. He'll love it more than, you know, you guys spending hundreds of dollars on some stupid shit he doesn't want. And their response was, I don't think my husband will be okay with getting him something like that, but I'll ask.
What?
So the family member is vehemently opposed to children playing video games.
Oh, God.
It's just not constructive, and it doesn't help them, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And so I didn't understand, and Ashley and I ended up having like a 2-hour conversation about this. I didn't understand the issue with a kid having Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like, even if, at least if it was Magic the Gathering cards, you could say, well, Magic's against the Bible, and they're religious, and blah, 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 blah.
Before you get to any of that, you call them asking what to get the fucking kid.
Well, and
then you're going to poo-poo whatever the kid wants?
Well, and that's how that's how the conversation went in this house. I was like, firstly, that's fucking stupid. And if that was my kid and you shit on it, that would be the hill I would choose to fucking fight about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get him anything then.
Well, and I'm on board with that. You know what I mean?
I will throw whatever you get them in the trash if it's not fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Well, but on top of that, it's like, I get it. You don't want your kids to play with that. Mm-hmm. You don't want your kids to play with video games. If you're sending your kid to my house and you don't want your kid to play with video games, you can tell me, hey, I don't want my kid to play with video games. I'm still going to let him
play video games. Eat a dick.
Well, I mean, I feel like I would be respectful enough to not.
I think it's funny that we're having a conversation about kids and we don't have kids.
And we don't have any. Yeah. If you're sending your kid to my house, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you.
Yeah, you're fucked up.
But no, just if I was a parent and one of the kids spending the night or whatever it was, their parents' rules were no video games. Like, you know what? My kid can either fucking not play video games or not have that kid over anymore because he's weird. But this isn't even that situation. We don't agree with kids playing video games. Okay, well, it's not in your fucking house and it's not your fucking kid. What's it matter?
Yeah.
The kid wants fucking playing cards. So I spent the better half of that evening fucking mad.
Actually, can we send fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards to this kid for Christmas, like as the show?
Yeah. Anybody who's on board with sending the Firestarter Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Also, I need those parents' address so I can send their kid Yu-Gi-Oh cards too.
So I'm getting to that.
Okay, good.
So if any of the fans want to spend, $8 plus shipping and handling to send some Yu-Gi-Oh cards to the Firestarter, we are happy to facilitate that. You can send it to Mike or I. We'll get with you in the IMPM DM, and we'll handle the relay shipping because I'm sure that kid will fucking love it.
You're not handling the shipping. You've already proven to us that you can't figure that shit out.
Yeah, well, the fucking post office. Anyway, so I spent the better half of that evening brewing about it and being like, fuck them, fuck that. And not my kid, it's my nephew, essentially. It's not my sister's kid, but it's effectively my nephew. And I couldn't grasp why you would poo-poo on it, like you said. And then I was like, you know what you should do? You should send them a pack of fucking playing cards every single year for the next 20 years. Even when they move, still send them a fucking pack of playing cards that shows up at their kid's fucking birthday or at Christmas or whatever it is. And never say anything about it. And then when they bring it up, you're like, that's really weird. And she's like, oh, I could just send them Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm like, fuck that. They'll know it's you then. I was like, you have to do something that's odd enough they question it, but not so blunt that they know it's you. Yeah, I get it. You can mail someone elephant shit, which I think is a hysterical idea, or a bag of dicks, or a glitter bomb, or whatever it is, but you don't want to make it so obvious that it's you. So if anybody has any ideas,
remind me to go back to the glitter bomb.
But yeah, if anyone has any ideas on how you would not harm, but make someone question a situation, again, long con, we're huge fans of long cons. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like I said, my thought process was a deck of cards or a deck of Yu-Gi-Oh's competitors or some shit like that, and just send them one every year for Christmas and have it arrive somewhere on that date, regardless of where they're living, because their family, you're going to know their address.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
That's smart. I like it. So real quick, so a company I used to work for, I follow on LinkedIn, and my previous manager was fired. apparently, from what I'm told, he was fired because he lost his shit one day and like kicked the office door off its hinges. Well, this happened 5-6 months ago that he got fired, maybe even longer, but it may have been like way early, like January, February. I don't remember specifically. But they posted on LinkedIn like, here's all of our staff at this location, painting and repainting the terminal and making it look nice. So of course I hit the comments with, hopefully they put the office door back on the hinges.
You son of a bitch.
And it's sent. Oh, fuck. I could not fucking resist. I love it. Sorry, that just the glitter bomb thing, because I had thought about that. Was one of those bosses that I had thought about sending a glitter bomb or gummy dicks to. And I, just fucking, I was like, oh my God.
I've been, the last job that I left in protest, I was that frustrated that I was so not trusted when I brought up something that was egregious, that I was accused of lying and fabricating and trying to get somebody else in trouble because I didn't like them. And I just parted ways with the company. I was so fucking mad about that. I was absolutely on board with like the shit box to send or the glitter bomb or the bag of dicks.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I
thought better of it, but I like that I was able to wait it out. And like a year and a half after I left that job, really fucking stick it to him, because I know he saw it. His dad's the president of the company. I know he fucking saw it.
Now I know which company it is.
And if he didn't see it, I know it got back to him, because I sent a fucking screenshot of it to everybody I still talk to from that company, and I know at least one of them made sure he saw it.
That's fucking funny.
But hopefully he laughed at it, because that shit is funny as fuck.
I mean, there's no reason not to laugh at it when it's funny.
If he didn't, fuck him.
That seems to be the reoccurring theme more and more when you and I talk about stuff on or off air is, oh, you don't like what I'm doing? Fuck it. Who cares? Your shit doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. I'm glad I was finally able to get there. It took me a long time to get to that point. I used to like really give a fuck, like what people thought. I don't, like I know I'm like even at work, and not even my job specifically, but like I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I bring to the table, and I just, if it's not enough, then I'm sorry. If it's too much, I'm not sorry. Like, I just don't,
Well, but it's like the tattoos conversation, and I can't remember if we talked about this or not, but, when we did the live stream, I had just started my mullet hawk, for lack of a better term, and, it's essentially a mullet, but it's also just the center. It's going to be, a mohawk / mullet. And we went over to my parents' house to visit 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, and we had just shaved the sides again and Ashley put like purple hair coloring or whatever the fuck it is in there because, quarantine, do whatever makes you happy and you have fun and it's something to do. And I walked through the door and my mom's like, oh, I can't believe you did that. And we're sitting there and my mom didn't say anything to me. And when we were driving home, Ashley let me know that my mom vented to her about that she wishes I wouldn't do stuff like that and that she wishes her kids wouldn't get tattoos and blah, 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 blah. And just kind of on this whole thing about tattoos and piercings and your haircuts, and that my nephew has a similar haircut to me, oddly enough, that we didn't discuss.
I saw that today. That's fucking funny. I immediately was like, that looks like Travis's hair.
Yeah, especially considering him and I look alike at that age.
Yeah.
But, my mom was asking me, why would you do that? And it's like, well, it's not like I could do this shit when I was in high school. You know what I mean? Like you guys picked my haircut growing up, and my mom had expressed to my wife that, oh, when Travis pierced his ears, I didn't think it was a good idea because he didn't know what he wanted to do with his life.
Does she know how far that went?
Maybe. I mean, when I moved to Alaska, I took a picture of my moving list and cock ring was on it. So, and my mom's like, yeah, definitely don't forget that.
Okay.
And Courtney was like, mom reads this shit, right? But no, it was one of those things like, my aunt, who's in her 60s, went and got an owl tattoo on her forearm. She loves owls, totally in love with birds. And she got a very pretty owl tattoo. And my mother was critical of it. Oh, she's too old to be going out and getting tattoos. Okay, but then when young people do it, they're making dumb decisions and they don't know what they're doing with the rest of their life.
There's
and then
no right time.
Well, and that's where I'm going with it. Well, you shouldn't cut your hair in a silly way. Why? Well, think about what other people think. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
You know what I mean? And that's essentially what the whole conversation comes down to is, if what I'm doing doesn't affect you, other than you're offended that I did it, but it doesn't actually do anything, you're just offended because you think it's weird, fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I mean? And we talked about that with tattoos and work and shit like that. It's like, do my tattoos stop me from doing a good job? No. Okay, then what's the issue? Well, they don't look professional. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what it
Listen, one more promotion and I'm getting fucking hand tattoos. So.
I'm going to get my dick tattooed.
Okay, well, I mean,
it's going to be a small tattoo,
that.
but
you can hide that.
But
so,
but no,
seriously, one more promotion and I'm getting hand tattoos.
I saw the wifey got them.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I guess I'm too laid back, or liberal, or whatever the term is. I don't understand. Like, you want to grow a mustache? Okay. If I said that's fucked up, it's stupid, why'd you grow a mustache? You'd be like, it's normal. But if you want a mohawk, it's not. No, that's not normal. It's not professional. Why? I can't.
Mohawks are cute when you're 8, apparently.
Yeah, but I wasn't allowed to do that shit then.
No, I know.
I mean, it's like you said, it's never the right time to do it. Don't get tattoos when you're young because you'll regret them. Don't get tattoos when you're old, even though you've already experienced everything, because you're too old to be getting tattoos. Or it's like,
the regret thing is partly true, but I didn't regret it because I got it. I regretted it because I didn't put any thought into it and just got like some random shit on a whim.
You could have gotten something.
Well, I got it covered up with, something that I put thought into and something that I wanted. Like the fucking, like I just got like a random ass bass clef. Well, fuck what?
Right, and then you got it covered with like Father Time or something, right?
I have an owl over the bass clef. So.
Got it.
But we did Father Time first, but we covered up the bass clef with the owl.
Got you. No, I just have my 2 little leg tattoos. I mean,
yeah, I got my 1 little leg tattoo.
You got your 1 whole leg tattoo?
Yeah.
I mean, I keep spending all my tattoo money on other shit.
I got like 4 more sessions too. This is fucking.
That's cool though.
It's fucking. It's we
You're
haven't.
Gonna regret that.
Yeah, definitely.
Think about how you look in your coffin when people can't see your legs anyway because they've rotted off.
You know what I've thought about before is like getting the tattoo and leaving like a dotted line, like that you would cut along, and like somehow when I die, like making them cut that off and like frame it and preserve it.
Nah.
What say you?
Nah.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Just get that tattoo on your neck. It says "cut here."
Yeah. So, you ready to move on to Trash or Treasure, buddy?
Yeah. Next week we'll do the Christmas caroling story.
Fuck that Christmas caroling story. No, it's fine.
That shit's funny. Yeah. So this week on Treasure, it is my turn to ask Michael the questions / give him the hints on Trash or Treasure. If this is your first time listening to Trash or Treasure, we try to do this every week. One of us, and we alternate turns. We'll pick somebody, in theory, well known.
Is now an appropriate time to take off my pants?
Yeah, always take off your pants.
Okay, good.
But we will throw out some hints. You guys can play along with us, and gals can play. And we will try to give you some pros and some cons. And at the end, we all make the decision as to if they are trash or treasure. And generally, we are right or wrong. So it could be either way. Can't be both. All right. This week's Trash or Treasure is going to be an actor, director, stand-up comedian, and musician. As a musician,
Matthew McConaughey.
It is not Matthew McConaughey. This person was born in 1977 in San Jose, California. Their birthday is actually
Johnny Depp.
Nope. You think Johnny Depp was born in 77?
No, but I don't.
I bet just like 60.
Is he really? We'll have to come back to that. Keep going.
He just has to know how many more bangles to wear today. This person was born to a Jewish family. His father taught digital electronics for a computer processing firm, and his mother was a computer operator for Pacific Bell, which was a phone company. Started acting at age 10-ish, 10 or 11. Is still active, currently doing occasional stand-up stuff. Started a band. Where's the band name? Alternative heavy metal band alternative metal band called Salty the Pocket Knife. He played bass and wrote much of the music. He's appeared on The World's Dumbest as a commentator on True TV, which is one of the other few shows that they have. Anything so far?
No, because there's a lot of the like they have a pretty good amount of revolving people. So keep going.
Okay. This person was on Celebrity Big Brother, 12th series. I don't know if that's going to matter to you. I don't think you watch that kind of stuff.
I used to watch Big Brother religiously.
Okay.
But I don't think that was one of the seasons I watched.
This person was a host at the 12th annual gathering of the Juggalos, which is an ICP thing. Insane Clown Posse.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Currently lives in Port Washington, Wisconsin. Was married to his longtime girlfriend from 2009 to 2013. Her name is Yennefer with a J. So it's just Jennifer. He was arrested in 2014 for possession of a switchblade knife, which he was alleged to have pulled during a bar altercation in which a man was stabbed. His fiancée at the time also faced charges of disorderly conduct in relation to the incident, was found guilty and fined. In May of the following year, so shortly thereafter, he was convicted of 2 misdemeanors of carrying a concealed weapon and disorderly conduct, cleared of the most serious charge of reckless public endangerment. Then in June of 2015, he was sentenced to 4 months in prison, did a total of 3 months there, and was released on probation. His probation agent determined he violated the terms of probation while he was out, and then he was arrested in May of 16. People are most going to know this person from a TV show that as soon as I tell you who it is, you're going to know who it is. So hang tight, that's coming. This person,
underestimate my knowledge.
You might not know his name, but you'll know who I'm talking about, and I can give you his real name. This person had a book come out that was supposedly a behind the scenes from the show. And in the book, he trashes most of the other people from the show, talks about allegations of sex and drug abuse. The book claims that he had sex with over 2,000 women, including the person at the channel who was responsible for children's talent. Nope. Charlie Sheen is a child. Including the woman who was in charge of childhood talent. So there's that whole concern. I tell you the name of the book, but it gives away the situation. And I don't mean the MTV kid. There was a sex tape that came out in 2006 where this person released their own sex tape, utilizing their name and the popular TV show that they were on as a play on words. He later on Oprah's show said that he was not actually in the sex tape. It was somebody who was a stunt cock, and they put his likeness added to it. This guy's been...
They fucking superimposed me.
Yeah, man. The fucker doesn't know what superimpose means. The fucking dumbass. He's been on the Howard Stern show as a guest where he tried to sell a bunch of his t-shirts to save his house because he was getting foreclosed on in California.
You talking about Dustin Diamond?
I am talking about Dustin Diamond. Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Did I not do him?
I don't think you did him.
I think I may have done some research on him and decided against it, I think is what I did.
Got it. So he was on the show he was on the show Saved by the Bell. His sex tape was called Screeched, Saved by the Smell.
Didn't he do like doesn't he have like a big old nerd dick? Like, isn't he like
he had a line of sex toys that were allegedly molded after his.
That's where I was going with that.
Cock.
I was pretty sure he had a line of toys molded after him. So
yeah, he seems to have gotten himself in some trouble. He was on. So originally, Saved by the Bell was a show called Miss Bliss. Good Morning, Miss Bliss. Mm-hmm. Ran from 88 to 89, and then it eventually became Saved by the Bell, which became Saved by the Bell the College Years, and became Saved by the Bell the New Class. And Screech was on the show from like 88 until it ended with the New Class. He was Mr. Belding's assistant in the last season when he was no longer a student.
Yep. He was in the college years. He was wasn't he like the dorm monitor or whatever?
You know, it may have gotten to that point. I know him and Mark Paul Gosslinger. I think that's his name. Mark Paul Gosling. One or the other.
Zach.
Zach Morris. They were like BFFs, and they were roommates in the college years.
Yeah.
There's a like a Funny or Die or a College Humor series of videos called
Zach Morris is trash.
Yeah, and it's fucking hysterical.
Zach Morris is trash. Yeah,
but they go down and they break down Saved by the Bell episodes and explain how terrible of a human being Zach Morris is if you look back at it and remove yourself from relating to him. And it's fucking spot on.
It is spot on. He was a piece of shit.
Yep, getting Jesse, when Jesse's all jacked up on speed. But I mean, that's going back to what we talked about earlier. That's another show that we used to watch all the time as kids. Yeah. Wanted to go eat at the Max, and
you'd probably be hard pressed to find an episode of at least the original series that I've not seen.
Well, and who that is our age wasn't heartthrobby over Jennifer or Tiffany Amber Thiessen?
I wasn't.
You weren't? Mm-mm. Man, you didn't even like her in.
I was on
another Trash or Treasures, Pauly Shore's movie, Son-in-Law.
Mm-mm. No, I was.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
I was more.
You into Lisa?
Lisa, yep, that's where we're going.
Really?
Yeah.
That was Screech's girl, man. He'd probably stab you over it.
He might. I mean, listen, try Jesus, not me, because I throw hands.
Were you an AC Slater kind of guy, or you were more of a Zach Morris kind of guy?
I was more of a Zach Morris kind of guy. I thought Slater was kind of douchey. So, okay, I didn't realize that at the time, but like in hindsight, I'd probably be more of a Slater guy. I think he was more of a good person than Zach was in
more
most
true
ways.
to himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was more of a Screech guy because I was a fucking nerd.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was a nerd, but I tried not to be. So,
and I could relate. I never got the girl back then. Still don't, but back then I didn't either.
Yeah, I was more similar to Screech at the time, but I just didn't want to admit it or recognize it.
Right. So yeah, that's the Trash or Treasure this week is Dustin Diamond, aka Screech from Saved by the Bell.
I'm pretty sure he's just general human waste. I think in the research that I was doing about him, he really he's not on speaking terms with anybody from the show. Like he kind of made an ass out of himself and kind of, I don't know. I don't think he talks to any of them or any of them talk to him.
Well, I mean, Mario Lopez is too busy hosting B Network television shows and red carpets with dogs.
B Network? He's on fucking Entertainment Tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, that's a B Network.
That's on NBC.
Oh, I thought that was on E.
No. Entertainment Tonight's on NBC.
Gotcha. He doesn't look like he's aged at all.
Some of the shows he hosts are like on Fox and shit in primetime.
Gotcha. I must have him confused with somebody else. I must be thinking like John Stamos.
Maybe.
But I mean, Mario Lopez doesn't look like he's aged at all.
He hasn't. I remember I was watching West Coast Customs because they don't. West Coast Customs isn't on anymore, I don't think, but they've done like a web thing on Motor Trend TV, and he had an SN Cobra that he had them redo that his dad bought, I guess, or it was like the first car he bought with his Saved by the Bell money or some shit, or he bought for his dad or some shit. So it was like an original SN95 Cobra that he had completely redone.
He should have brought it to me at my shop.
Yeah, I don't think they went that far. Like the seats needed to be reupholstered, and they didn't do anything crazy. Like they painted it. They painted it, did the interior, put a stereo in it. Like they didn't like coyote swap it or anything cool. So,
gotcha. Yeah, I mean he seemed like a decent enough guy, and he still seems like a decent enough guy. I'd be curious as to where Jesse Spano and Tiffany Amber Thiessen went.
I'm not sure. I know Mark Zach. He had mentioned like publicly that he didn't have like a specific problem with Screech, but they just didn't talk.
Well, I know when the book came out, or at least what I was reading is when the book came out, and Screech had all the negative shit to say, essentially, and disparaging shit that Zach Morris was asked, about the allegations of sex and drug abuse and stuff like that, and he's like, I didn't see any of that stuff. He's like, I can't tell you it didn't happen because, I can't tell you shit didn't happen out of my view. He's like, but I don't remember anything that would give off that impression. And the weird part is Dustin Diamond was later interviewed about it, and he completely backpedaled and said that he never said any of those things. The book was ghost written by somebody who had interviewed him once and just kind of filled in a bunch of shit off of small things he said, which sounds like a save your own ass thing. But
yeah, and not a very good job of it either. Own that shit, pussy.
Yeah. He's like, no, all I said was, we're teenagers and, we're all running on hormones, so stuff happens. And they just inferred that we were all fucking each other and doing drugs. And I don't think that's the case.
Sorry. I got up at fucking 5 o'clock this morning. I went to the gym, so I'm assed out at fucking 9 o'clock.
Good for you.
It was terrible. My back's all fucked up, so I didn't get I was actually mad at my workout in general today. So.
Well, just so you know, Chris wrote me off air and told me if you actually want any advice, just to give you his phone number, and he's happy to help you out.
All right, cool.
He also, and this is where I'm admitting that I may be wrong, he told me he doesn't agree with my statement about the small number of complex exercises.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would assume he doesn't. That's it's not a very popular process on the internet either. So it's
fuck them.
The way it was always framed, and we'll get back to treasure in a second. But the way I've always seen it framed on the internet is that it's great to get you started and get you in a routine and teach you the basics, but it quickly stunts you, and you have to move on and grow from it. So
well, no, and I agree with that. And my statement was,
but I don't want to.
It's a good start point.
I want to do the same thing over and over again.
Yep, and expect different results.
Exactly.
But no, Screech / the Dustin, the
Trash.
Diamond,
trash, absolute basura.
Is that what that word means?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah. So
yes, absolute basurutin.
No, it's basura.
Ah.
All right, buddy. Well, you ready to get out of here?
Yeah, just go ahead and give him the rundown on the social medias and the free shit, and we'll say night.
At Nothing in Mod Pod. Send us a DM for free stickers, keychains, magnets. We got them all. We'll send them out to you free of charge.
You can catch me harassing people on the Twitter for the stupid shit they say.
Yep. You can do that if you follow us on the Twit space. You can catch Travis talking shit to people in the politics realm. It's kind of funny sometimes. Not that funny other times. Just depends. It's hit or miss. So.
Yeah, I mean,
at least he tries.
So. I'm engaging.
All right, buddy. Well, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, bye.
See ya. Stop it.
Hey, kids. You've reached the end of the podcast. That's it. There's nothing more here. Just dead air and this closing statement. We appreciate your diligence, though. Now go back about your day and come back for the next show. Or listen again. In fact, that sounds like a better plan. Grab another show. That's what I'm doing right now. Whoever listens the most wins. You don't really win anything, really. Just the memories of better times, which is winning in my book. All right, well, this is the actual end. Hand banana.